What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
All right, hello, True Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion, MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast, or you're listening to True Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Hey guys, it's Dan Rosa, and welcome to True Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook for our AEW NJPW Forbidden Door 2025 preview. Breaking down this Sunday show from the O2 Arena in London, England. And boy, do we have a lot to discuss from this card, and we got an all-star panel to do it, because first up, we got the one and only MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy, Jay News.
Man, so the show comes up on Sunday. And I would say that usually I'm excited for what's going to go down. A couple of matches have piqued my interest. But there's a lot to discuss, as you said, SP3. And I think we're going to break it all down. And I think that I feel like today is going to be one of those days that Maggie sheds a lot of clarity to this card. So without further ado,
Yes, without further ado, we got to introduce the third member of the team. You know her from coexisting with Rob over on Fightful Overbooked every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. But she's always here to talk some pay-per-view and PLEs here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It is your girl, Maggie. How are you doing?
Oh, wow, what a loaded question. But like... Listen, okay, I'm not well. Okay, listen, I'm gonna use you guys and your wonderful True Heel Heat community as a therapist, because God knows I need one. Okay, so bear with me. So, because apparently I cannot, for the life of me, find a man, not in my hometown, in my country. Okay. It's impossible to do that. So apparently what I do is fall in love with a guy who lives thousands of miles away from me, okay? Because this is normal, correct? Like a guy who does not know I exist and I will never ever in my life meet. So bear with me again, seriously. So I scroll on my Instagram, reels, because I do that every once in a while. I need to unwind,
Yeah.
And my Instagram algorithm presents me the Basement Yard podcast. So it's two dudes
Yeah, from New York.
being,
Yeah.
being incredibly wholesome, funny, and adorable.
Yeah.
So I see Joey and I'm like, who is this man and why do I live in Bulgaria? Like, this cannot keep happening, okay? And by keep happening, I mean, because like I fall in love with fictional men all the time. And I know this is a real person, but I put it in that category, okay? Because he's far away and I'm like, and he has that, he's handsome as fuck, man, and he has that adorable smile and I just want to wrap him in a blanket and give him tea, and he has the most sexy ass neck with that. Oh, I mean, help me. What is happening here? What is this? It's not even funny. I need help. I need professional help. This has to stop. I cannot stop watching at those two people, and like it's the total opposite of the basic two white boys with a microphone. No, they're so adorable. The both of them are incredibly hilarious and like funny with each other, and I'm like, stop it. Because apparently I've done something horrible in my in a past life, so I'm due to be a cat lady now. I do not own a cat because I just got my new couch that we talked about a month ago. So I got my new couch and I don't want a cat. But apparently I'm going to be a cat lady for the rest of my life because Joey lives in New York. I'm kidding, kind of. Like,
well, I mean,
what are you guys doing?
Maggie, hold on. Maggie, hold on. I mean, Joey might be in New York, but your good brother Jay News might know a guy who knows a guy. So if you need, you know what I'm saying? So
listen, do not give me hope. Stop it.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
Like, do not give me hope because, like, listen, I'm trying to be, I'm trying to calm my nerves. I'm eating peaches because our friend Zach, every once in a while, like every Friday, he tells me what day it is. And he told me it was Peaches Day. So I'm eating peaches right now to calm my broken heart, okay? I haven't even met the guy and I'm already with a broken heart because life sucks, okay? It sucks. It fucking sucks. Let's talk some wrestling because I'm pissed off.
Let's talk some wrestling because it's gonna make her feel better. Yeah. So of course we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on the video. It helps the YouTube algorithms. You can also share the video with all your wrestling fans, family, and friends on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Of course, you can sound off in the comment section if you're watching us on demand. But of course, if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. Hear your thoughts on this Sunday's AEW NJPW Forbidden Door 2025. Give your predictions in the comments. Give your predictions in the live chat. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see here on screen, and we always appreciate your support. We do have one here from I Make Beats. Thank you so much, I Make Beats. And yes, it's been too long. He says, what's good, folks? It's been a minute. Had some in real life stuff going on. I had to take a break. Only graps I seen since SummerSlam has been G1. So let's go, bruv. There we
What
go.
is this police siren that I'm hearing?
New York sounds at its best.
Okay,
You
so
don't
if
hear
you're
one throughout the day. It
if
just
you're
is
in
not,
New
it-
York,
it-
if you're in New York, just go find Joey for me and just.
That's what I said, Maggie. I might know a guy who knows a guy. You know what I'm saying? To drop you in the DMs. I can hook you up. Just saying.
Hook me up.
I looked this gentleman up. He's a fine gentleman. This is we need to do whatever we can to come together and make
Guys,
this love
it's the
connection
neck.
happen.
It's the neck. Can I bite it?
I'm gonna leave that there. Someone cut that out so I can send it out. You feel me?
The neck. It's the neck. I'm sorry.
The neck. It's the neck, y'all.
I'm
It's
a
the
neck girl, okay? I'm a neck girl.
Louis says, what kind of peaches are we talking about here?
Well, not mine, but
And yes, Chuck Berries is correct. As always, Maggie is on one, and I love it. LOL.
did you guys miss me? I wasn't here last time, so
I know, it's been too long. Grapple Wrestling Podcast says, let's go. Good to see you in the chat. Our friends over at Grapple App. Go over and check them out. We also got Nicky Boy, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson saying, laugh my ass off again. Typical Maggie video. Laughing face emoji.
hey, you get what you pay for. So.
Great Carter II says, peaches, neck. I'm trying to be mature.
Why? We watch
Why would you
wrestling.
do
None of
such
us
a
are
thing?
mature.
Might be onto something there. Speaking of which, AEW, NJPW Forbidden Door. Maggie, we'll start with you. You know how we do here for our pay-per-view previews. 0 to 10. What is your hype level, your anticipation level for this Sunday?
It's a 9. Definitely because you couldn't tell before the show started because I was kind of bummed out. But because it's the whole Joey thing, okay? It's not. I don't care about wrestling right now because all I see on this fucking thing, it's the. Can I throw it? It's an iPhone. I can. Okay, so it's a 9. I'm at a 9. I'll say it like this. I'm glad I'm not there because all the matches are really, really good, and I cannot possibly, because of all the adrenaline in there, I cannot for the life of me pay attention to the show, and I want to pay attention to all of these matches, every single one of them, and that's why I'm glad I'm staying home because I can't wait. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does.
Yeah, okay.
It does. It's too much in person sometimes. I've been there before. J News, what about you?
I'm at an even 7 right now, even though 7 is an odd number. But hey, yeah, it's not as high as I thought it would be. Maggie's right. The card is full of really good matches. The build was lackluster to me. We'll get into the hubbub, the rumors, the not happenings on this card, and why people feel a certain way. I can't get onto my Twitter without something on my feed talking about how TK messed this whole thing up and how he's not paying attention to the young guys on New Japan Pro Wrestling and why wasn't anybody booked here? He hates Joshi's, all this shit, right? And I'm saying to myself, well, we got to have a platform to discuss this. And hence, we're here on True Heel Heat, so we'll discuss this at the end of the day. But yeah, to stay on topic for the time being, I'm at a 7 currently.
I Make Beats has been a member for 12 months. Thank you so much, I Make Beats, for being such a big supporter here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. We appreciate you for that. To bring you what you're saying up here, I think that that's where I'm at as well. I'm closer to you than with Maggie. I'm at like a 7.5. I'm at like a 7.5.
Fuck.
I would say if I wasn't watching AEW weekly and I'm just basing it on the card, then I'll probably be closer to Maggie. I'll probably be like an 8.5. But because I've watched the build to the show and I didn't think this go home show was that strong, I'm like I'm less excited than I was like 2 weeks ago. When the card was starting to get made, I was like, oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening. Yeah, it's not really Forbidden Door, but as a wrestling show, it's going to deliver. But I'm at a 7.5 only because the build hasn't been the best, especially coming off of 2 pay-per-view cycles with Double or Nothing and All In, where they had great builds. This is not that.
I get it. I mean, I understand why the build has sucked, but like, I think it's because they were trying to build towards Forbidden Door while the G1 was happening. And I get that it was kind of lackluster, but I don't care, man. Like, those matches are so good. And like, when it comes to the build towards a pay-per-view, I've come to realize that all that it matters when it comes to the build is your excitement and hype levels when you go to the show. And after the show is done, you don't give a fuck about any of the build. You care if the matches were good or not.
That's true. Then that's to the benefit of AEW, and it has been since the promotion started that sometimes they can lack off of the build. Like I remember Wrestle Dream last year. I thought me and Jay News did that preview. We hated the build to Wrestle Dream, but the show it actually delivered.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, they sometimes can get like that. I'm hoping this is another case of that with this show here. So keep coming with those comments in the comment section. We got a super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, here's to Maggie getting her man in the end. I'm pulling for you, girl.
Someone needs to pull something.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
No.
I'm not saying that.
Sometimes, people have wants, people have needs, and we have to respect that, SP3. And Maggie.
Hey, you can't see me from the waist down.
No. Wasn't even gonna go there, but hey, we're here for you, girl. We're here for you. That's all I'm saying.
Someone has to be.
At least something's getting pulled. But yes, let's talk about AEW NJPW Forbidden Door this coming Sunday, live from the O2 Arena in London, England. We got for the TNT Championship is going to be Kyle Fletcher defending against Hiromu Takahashi. Kyle Fletcher, of course, won the TNT Championship on the July 31st edition of AEW Collision in a Chicago street fight against Dustin Rhodes, taking out the legend in the process. He's been forced to have knee replacement surgery. Kyle Fletcher has taken out Dustin Rhodes. He's taken out Adam Cole. He beat Tomohiro Ishii in his first defense of the TNT title and made a challenge to anyone from New Japan. He wants the pound for pound best from the company company. Don Callis made the same request, and they got Hiromu Takahashi, one of the best junior heavyweights in New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the best junior heavyweights of all time, 4-time Best of Super Juniors winner, multiple-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. He got a win in a 8-man tag alongside Brody King, Hologram, Tomohiro Ishii to defeat Fletcher and the Don Callis family, and thus earn this opportunity coming up this Sunday. Maggie, what do you think about this matchup here? One of the few actually Forbidden Door style matches on this card with Hiromu coming over. Who do you think wins?
I don't think there's any way Kyle Fletcher is losing his championship here. But I'm interested in seeing the in-ring dynamic between those two, because I don't know. Have we seen them wrestle in New Japan?
I don't think so.
Not one-on-one.
Not one-on-one, right? Yeah. And I'm interested to see where this goes in the ring, because there's no storytelling before or after. It just doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But it's one of these like, I'm not excited about the match, but I'm looking forward to be surprised, because that's, one of those sleeper matches that end up being, banger. But yeah, Kyle Fletcher retains here.
J News?
Yeah, the result is evident at the end of the day. I feel like the pace of this match is what we're going to have to pay attention to, because this might be all killer, no filler, 1,000 miles an hour from beginning to end. Because when Hiromu wants to go, we go. But if he wants to slow it down, we slow it down. So depending as to however the match starts, that's the way it's going to end. So I have no doubt that they're going to put on a tremendous matchup. And I don't feel like Hiromu Takahashi has to prove himself to the quote-unquote AEW fan base, but I know a lot of people online were complaining about the lack of pop he got when he made his entrance last week on Dynamite. And, I got a bone to pick with New Japan about certain things and how certain people are viewed and perceived. But for the match and its sake, I think it's going to be a tremendous match. Kyle will win. There's something that's going to come out of this show that might push the Kyle Fletcher button quicker than we thought. And we'll talk about that when we get there. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this match specifically.
Yeah, they're using this TNT title reign to really prop up Kyle Fletcher, who's earned it and deserves it. Absolutely. So yeah, I think that he retains the title here, and I think this is going to be kind of a sleeper for like a banger matchup on this card. I think they can mesh very well with one another, and yeah, I think Hiromu is going to be coming with his working boots on, so I expect this one to be really good. Another one that I expect to be really good is for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné will defend against Persephone, Alex Windsor, and Bozilla. This is Mercedes getting challenges from all three of the four companies involved in this show, as AEW represented by Alex Windsor, who picked up a win over Queen Aminata, Sky Blue, and Billy Starks in a four-way to earn the opportunity. Persephone was chosen to represent CMLL, while Stardom chose Bozilla. Persephone has been a champion over in CMLL. She's very hard-hitting, but very agile for a woman of her size, and Bozilla might be the best kind of gaijin in Japan currently. She was the big kaiju when she came to Marigold, and now she's in Stardom, a part of the Viva Loca faction alongside Suzu Suzuki, and she is just bigger than every other Joshi wrestler out there and usually destroys anyone in her way. She's had great matches with Azumi, with Saudi Hanoi over in Stardom since being over there just a couple of months ago, arriving there, and now she comes over to AEW and New Japan for this show to showcase herself. I expect this to be really good because I'm very excited for Bozilla. I've loved Bozilla for a while, ever since I saw her first match in Marigold, seen her matches with like Megan Bain in GCW. So I'm excited for her getting the showcase here. Liked Persephone every time I've seen her in CMLL or Ring of Honor. And Alex Windsor has been very impressive since she got here. Maggie, who do you think wins, and what have you thought about the setup for this matchup?
Well, the setup. Well, we kind of said that at the beginning of the show. The setup, it's okay. It's out there. I mean,
It happened.
it happened. There were worse built matches on this card. I gather, but people online have been extremely hyped for Godzilla. Yeah, and that makes me happy. This is the other match that I think that there is no way that Mercedes losing the championship. But I like how AEW is pushing Alex Windsor to the moon right now. I mean, I still kind of think that Athena should be the one to take that championship from Mercedes. I don't know if I'm right or not, but it should be Athena. Whether or not she holds that Ring of Honor championship, still, I don't know. It should be Athena. I'm glad that Athena's been having this spotlight on her on AEW. Maybe stay. I don't know. Like, of all the Ring of Honor champions that constantly are on AEW television, this is the one that we want. This is the one.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm going with Mercedes here. What do you guys think?
J News, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it was stated yesterday during the Forbidden Door media call by Tony Khan in regards to Bozilla being available for Forbidden Door only happened a few days ago, which makes a lot of sense because right now Stardom is in their Grand Prix. So they're running their G1 basically at the same time, and it doesn't end until tomorrow. So Bo was out. She was numerically she was disqualified and all that jazz. She is, and I mean this in the most loving way, she is one of the biggest broads I've ever seen in my life. And she throws dudes around, let alone these other girls.
I know.
So if y'all thought Megan Bain was a problem, Big Bo, the kaiju, she's a problem. So I think, because I thought in my head I had it where they hadn't mentioned any whoever was going to be the representative for Stardom. I was like, well, they'll probably take on one of the Stardom girls that faced off with Mercedes before, maybe an Azumi, maybe a Hazuki or whatever, or they'll throw Momo back in there. But that didn't happen. At the end of the day, my wishful thought process was, can we get the Sun God at Forbidden Door? But we couldn't do that because she's not Stardom.
I knew she wasn't going to go. Like
I said, that's wishful thinking at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, we got Bo, and this is gonna be. She's a great base, so people are gonna work off of her. For folks who don't have any experience with Persephone, that young lady is very, very talented, I must say. And she works a bigger style. I mean, she's a thicker girl, but she's not necessarily large like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had her appear in Glasgow on Wednesday and whatnot, pushing Mercedes around, so they were able to work that tidbit in there. But she does tremendous work at CMLL. She's considered a bad guy in CMLL. She's from Texas. She's of Mexican descent and stuff like that. So she does speak both languages. So I have a feeling that Tony's gonna be using her in the future some more and things of that nature. So I think the match is gonna be really good. To Maggie's point, what they've done with Alex Windsor has been nothing short of fantastic for her. I said this since Will got to AEW. Where's the wife? I love Will.
Yeah.
I was saying, wife. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been a fan of hers for years. And it works, man. What she does works, and it's been working for the AEW fan base. And obviously, she's on a great path to do bigger and better things and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a real good match. A lot of diversity in styles here, so I wonder how the pairings are going to go between the four of them. But this should be a good one. This should definitely be a good one. And yeah, Mercedes will retain at the end of the day. Yeah. So we'll have that there.
Mercedes is gonna bump the crap out of herself for Bozilla.
Bozilla, 1000%.
Like she will sell her neck. Yeah, she will land on her neck like 1,000 million times. First of all, and second of all, to your point about Alex Windsor, I saw her last year at RevPro before Allin. I immediately became a fan, and I cannot wait for her to turn heel because she's such a wonderful heel. She's a way better heel.
Yeah, but like most of professional wrestling nowadays, and I agree with you, Maggie. She's a tremendous heel. But like most of professional wrestling nowadays, we have a face problem. We have a good guy problem.
Yeah,
and I feel like the majority of fans always want their favorites to be heels, and it's like, but where are the good guys at? You know what I'm saying? And that's just more of a general statement.
I like Ospreay as a face, which is weird because he's so good as a face. Like he was a. I don't know if he was a good heel. I just love him so much as a wrestler
He was good at trying to be a wrestling Conor McGregor.
Yeah, well,
that's the best way that I can say it. He's a much better. We had this discussion yesterday on AE Ramble because someone in the chat was like, "I think Ospreay needs to turn heel," and it's like, no, like it's very rare that we get good baby faces who can cut good baby face promos at the same time. Because a lot of people would say Cody's like the best baby face promo or baby face guy in North America, but his promos don't work for me. So.
Yeah.
The only one who says that Cody's promos work is Steven Jensen.
I know. That's about it. That's about it.
And look, I think that it's popular to shit on Cody nowadays, and I'm gonna continue.
I made it cool.
Yeah, you did absolutely, Maggie. But I'm gonna continue in line. At the end of the day, I don't enjoy his promos either, and it's tough to. I don't want to compare him to his dad because that's unfair at the end of the day. But understanding the lineage and his brother was a great babyface early on in his career. So it's like it's in him, but a lot of what Cody does feels so forced. It's like, what's going on, man?
It's like I don't care.
It's not believable. But anyway, on to the next one.
He's being himself, yes. And yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that Mercedes would be my biggest lock pick. I think, Fletcher winning is a lock too, but I think that this is even bigger. Mercedes, you're not going to have her lose back-to-back pay-per-views, have her lose everything this soon, especially not in a four-way, because that feels cheap as a way to end her long title reign too. But one matchup on this card has probably received the most criticism only because of the rush nature of it all. And that is our only real non-title matchup or non-stipulation matchup on the card.
Yeah,
no, they don't have updated graphic yet. So that's
the fuckers.
They just have that blurry ass picture if you screenshot your thing. It's not an actual graphic on social media. No. Adam Cole will team with Christian Cage to face Kip Sabian and Luchasaurus, aka Killswitch, not Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne suffered a foot injury that has pulled him from this matchup. That was revealed on Dynamite this week. It's been very weird since All In Texas, where Adam Copeland made his return to AEW, making the save for Christian Cage after he was turned on by the patriarchy who were working with FTR. Adam Copeland came out going after FTR, but inadvertently made the save for his former best friend, the man that tried to take him out and end his career, but he told him, instead of go fuck yourself, go find yourself, which Christian took 2 weeks and realized he's still an asshole and cut a very rambling promo that led to him getting a concerto from the patriarchy. This led into a few weeks later when Copeland was getting beaten down by FTR. It was Christian who came out with Spike that Cope came out and made the save for him at All In. He made the save with the same weapon. He fought off the patriarchy alongside Cope and then handed him Spike. But instead of just taking the weapon and walking away, Cope hugged Christian, who seemed unsure about all of this. And he cut the promo on Dynamite this week where he explained that he told him to go find himself, but he realized that he is perfect just the way he is and shouldn't change anything. But he needs Cope for his Nick and Kip problem, and Cope needs him for his FTR problem. So he's helping him at Forbidden Door. Then they could take care of FTR after. This is when Nick Wayne revealed that he suffered a foot injury, and Killswitch made his return and delivered choke slams to both Cope and Christian. I have been on record here on this channel multiple times in the past week. I hated the Rush reunion of Cope and Christian. It's like you're taking me on a ride and I'm reading a story and then you rip all the middle parts of the story out of the book. And I'm forced to be like, whoa, that escalated quickly. You went from calling him an asshole on page 1, page 2, y'all are back together and hugging. That's how that reunion felt to me. I thought the promo this week was a step in the right direction, but I mean, it all feels very rushed and put together, especially with Nick Wayne being out with injury as well and Luchasaurus coming back here. But Maggie, what have you thought about the reunion of Cope and Christian and who wins on Sunday?
So the reunion was definitely forced. It happened really quickly and it escalated a lot. Like I understand that they tried to explain this. You're my asshole. That sounded really off, sweetie. And even for me. And it's I understand that they're trying to hype things up when it comes to All Out in Canada. I understand. And this is like a warm-up. And that's why I don't mind so much this match specifically, because it's the match against FTR that matters. Yeah. And of course, Kip Sabian is gonna get pinned in his home country, I'm sure. I don't know if I probably Christian Cage does the pinning. I suppose that they're gonna do both of them not exactly being on the same page, and until the start of All Out, they built towards them trying to become a better tag team. This is only speculation, but I understand why people are upset about this. But like, it's Edge and Christian. I don't need exactly a build for a match, but I did need a build for the reunion because I kind of needed more time for this too, But I understand. Yes and no. This is probably the match that I'm gonna get up and make some tea during. Probably I'm not promising, but it's just gonna be a fun thing. I was looking forward to Nick Wayne, but I was excited when Luchasaurus came back.
Me too.
That segment. I mean, who gave him the syringe? Like who woke him up? Was it?
I mean,
was it a scapegoat?
I mean, the
was
hand.
it a scapegoat?
That was where I landed immediately when I saw it. I was like, "What's that? Where are we going with this, though?" FDNY outside, no doubt.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
I always get these loud, random New York noises when I'm in the Bronx, but here we are. But yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, that looks like Jack Perry. The whole family's getting back together. I wouldn't mind that. I predicted that way back when Jack was still off of TV that he should join forces with the patriarchy. So I wouldn't mind them going to that now.
Why are people hating on Jack Perry?
Because they blame him for CM Punk not being with the company anymore.
Yay!
I mean, some people are upset about that. She said, yay! Like, what? Yeah,
I
mean,
CM Punk, by the way. I love the guy. just FYI.
I swear I love him, guys.
I swear.
I of course am going with Cope and Christian. They're like one of my favorite tag teams of all time. I just wanted the reunion to be done well because they waited so long where it felt like, like 4 months ago, it felt like this was going to be an all-in match of Cope and Christian getting back together to face FTR. But then they delayed it more and more so Christian could finish his whole story with the patriarchy. And it felt like they were now going to save it for Toronto because that's where these guys are from. They can have their big reunion match at All Out. And then they just rushed it to make it on this card here, where you basically are telling me, as a wrestling fan that's watched way too much wrestling, is that my thought process goes, you're only doing this because you want Christian and Cope to get a win here because they're going to be in a title match in Toronto at All Out. That's because I was like, why are you wasting Christian and Cope teaming up for the first time in nearly 15 years on a London card that's already sold out? Like, it's pretty much all sold out. You don't need it to sell a few more tickets. You don't need that extra buy for that Christian and Cope's going to go when the whole thing was setting up for All Out. So you had more time to tell your story, but they want to tell a different story and they want the match with FTR to be for the titles. Thus, leading us into our next predictions here.
They just wanted Kip Sabian to be on television for Forbidden Door.
So I wanted to say
you're actually right about that.
That's absolutely the case because Kip Sabian doesn't get enough love.
He doesn't, and he should.
He should. He's actually a very, very good professional wrestler at the end of the day. I wanted to say this though about the whole Cope and Christian thing. I know folks feel like it's rushed, but I want to put this out there for those who understand scheduling. Percy Jackson season 3 starts back up in September, folks. We might not be seeing Cope yet again for a good period of time. So if this feels rushed to you, there is a reason behind it. At the end of the day, so.
I mean, it doesn't need to be rushed though. It's all for the All Out match.
I feel you, but at the end of the day, this is where we are, right? They want to give them a moment before he leaves yet again. Christian something to do at the end of the day because he wasn't doing anything after he got killed by the freaking. I understand selling the concerto and all that jazz, but even before that, he wasn't really doing much. So there's that part of it. I just want to be entertained by whatever it is that they're going to do together. And the segment on Dynamite worked for the most part. It's an interesting dynamic to have a babyface and heel tag team. That's not usually done too very often. So we'll see how that dynamic continues to work. I've always felt this way, and I'll make sure to put this out into the universe right now. I always felt that whatever match they got to versus FTR did not have to do with the AEW tag titles. Whoever's decision that is, I think it's a dumb decision. They don't need the tag titles for that. That can be a moment for later down the road for Christian and Edge if they want to do that. And revisit the FTR feud. If they want to do it that way. But for the immediacy of it all, I don't feel like the titles are necessary for this, especially at All Out. Just them being in Toronto works. It sells itself.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be for the tag titles. and we're gonna get to the next tag match and all the rumors and commentary that's been happening in the last 24 hours about who wants to go over with who and who's not willing to take a pin and everything else in between. Yeah, kick that off, SP3.
Well, we do have a super chat donation here first from Nicky Boy, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. Thank you so much, Nicky Boy. He says Kyle Fletcher is a future world champion.
Probably.
The future might be coming sooner rather than later. Honestly, might be coming sooner. But yes, let's talk about the other tag team matchup for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin of the Hurt Syndicate will defend against the two finalists in the AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament, FTR and Brodito. It was FTR and Brodito who made it to the finals of the AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament. FTR got through Jet Speed and the Bang Bang Gang, while Brodito defeated Gates of Agony and pulled off a huge win over the Young Bucks to get there. They faced on Dynamite on Wednesday and went to a 30-minute time limit draw. Instead of running it back, giving it 5 more minutes, or doing a rematch of any kind, Tony Khan says, F all that. Make them all in a 3-way. They both get the title opportunity at the Hurt Syndicate. And I think that the most conversation, the most build-up and discussion this has gotten is on why this is happening and who's taking the fall for who. Because, during the build to Forbidden Door this year, there was the news of MVP having heat backstage in All Elite Wrestling and the Hurt Syndicate not wanting to job to certain people, which included FTR. There was the report from Fightful Select, the best $6 in the game, where it was revealed that the Hurt Syndicate didn't want a job to FTR at Allin or Forbidden Door, but they had came up with a innovative way to get there. And by innovative way, they mean one extra team. And it was also said that the Hurt Syndicate only wanted to lose to younger teams like the Outrunners, Private Party, and Gates of Agony. Reason those names sound familiar, they've beaten all those teams. So
thank God.
Here we are. It feels like this is the conclusion of the Hurt Syndicate title reign. I don't know about you. That's how it feels to me. It's a decision on Tony Khan and AEW's part of, do you want to go with the team can always deliver, that is right now on like a best tag team in the world type of run since they turned heel earlier this year in FTR and they become 3-time champions? Or do you want to go with the newer, hotter team, in my opinion, in Brodito with Brody King and Bandito? They've been on a heater. They've been getting these big reaction from the fans. Bandito's on a Wrestler of the Year run. Brody King's been someone that has kind of been passed over time and time again. He's one of the most underrated people on this roster. We'll start with Maggie. What do you got here, and what have you thought about all the talk involving Hurt Syndicate?
So, I'm just gonna start off with this. Brodito, wonderful together. I love them. I miss Buddy Matthews. I'm such a sucker for Buddy Matthews. He's low-key one of the best wrestlers on that roster, and I really, really miss the guy. Really. I know he's immensely injured. I understand, but I was so hoping that he was gonna be there with Brody. I wanted them to be the team to beat the Hurt Syndicate for those championships.
Same.
Yeah. So right now it's gonna be probably FTR pinning Bandito. Either one of FTR pinning or Brody, because like Brody has been one of those wrestlers on the roster that everyone is cheering for. He's so over with the fans and with everyone, and he has these banger matches and he kicks out of amazing moves that you should be out of, but somehow he always gets pinned. So Bandito is Ring of Honor champion, so probably he won't get pinned. And probably it's gonna be Brody. But how can you be, realistically speaking, look me in the eye and tell me that you're capable of pinning Brody.
If you can't do it in real life, you can't do it in wrestling.
No, like what the fuck? So I'm glad that the Outrunners aren't one of the teams here, because god fucking damn it, I'm so glad that we are that we moved past this horrible idea of, oh, they're so over, just give them the titles. Fuck no. I'm gonna stop watching wrestling if that ever happens. Fuck the Outrunners. But when it comes to the Hurt Syndicate, I'm one of these people that go like, we're not there. There's no way we can know. People like to say that it's all about egos, but like, if you're Bobby Lashley and you're Shelton Benjamin, how can you not have egos? I mean, those two, Shelton Benjamin is on the run of his life in AEW. Not specific, but like the way he's wrestling and the way he's presented as this amazing wrestler, full stop. Not someone who looks around eerie around the room backstage, you know? So I don't know, when it comes to the MJF thing with Hangman, and MVP made sure that everyone knew that Lashley was coming for MJF if he wins that title. I don't know if this was on purpose or not. I don't know if they want to do something with this. So it's I don't know if this entire thing is a mess or not. I'm not equipped to to say that, but it's gonna be a fun match, and it's a 3-way, and it's no DQ. So it's everyone can do a bunch of stuff. Cannonball through a table probably for Brody. I don't know, but I really want to be watching that. What do you guys feel about this entire situation? Is SmackDown on? I feel like SmackDown's on.
I think it's on at 3 p.m. here, so an
Isn't
hour.
It 2? Isn't it
yes,
2?
2. No, I thought it was at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yes, I agree with a lot of what you said. Like, it's very interesting, and it's throwing us back to a time where we had this issue in 2022 with people who didn't want to lose to certain people, with Aleister Black and Rusev, and it's going well for those guys. So I guess Hurt Syndicate have nothing much to worry about. But no, I all seriousness, I think that this match is better over the fact that it's a 3-way. I think that Brodito versus Hurt Syndicate and Hurt Syndicate versus FTR are not better than a 3-way matchup with both teams against the Hurt Syndicate. I think that Brodito will continue to be a highlight in the ring. They're going to put on some great performance in front of this raucous crowd in London. I think FTR, like I said before, is on a best tag team in the world type of run right now, and they're going to continue that on Sunday. And the Hurt Syndicate have all the chance in the world. They have every opportunity available to have their best match yet, which is going to be their last match of their reign, because I'm going with FTR, new champions. G News.
So, to be I don't know if this is going to be a buzzkill or not, or whatever, but it was not even intimated. It was put out there via AEW socials that this 3-way match is now an elimination match.
Yes, I saw that. I did see that.
One team will be out by the first fall, and then whatever the last 2 teams are will be fighting out for the championship. So in this instance, yes, very, very. In this instance, I would say because of the way that they're now structuring the match and the tag team in this case that has to go over for the sake of the championships and for the sake of harmony in the locker room, as per the rumors and the innuendo, I would say FTR gets kicked out first and Brodito beats the Hurt Syndicate to make it easier for everybody in that sense.
I don't see the Hurt Syndicate losing the titles. I think that if it's a 3-way elimination, because it's conflicting because it says that on social media, but if you check their website, it doesn't state that.
Yeah.
They may last second be like, oh, there's no way for us to protect Hurt Syndicate in this. Let's just make it
exactly.
one fall to the finish. Yeah. I feel like that's what they're gonna do because of the conflicting nature of all of this. But if it is elimination, they're gonna say on commentaries, they're gonna make sure everybody hears it. There are DQs and countouts because it's elimination. And the Hurt Syndicate is going to get the famous, we kick too much ass DQ. Beating them up in the corner, and the referee's like, get off of him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's whooping his ass too much. Ding, ding, ding. You're disqualified. Get out of here. So Hurt Syndicate doesn't have to lose or nothing.
That's okay. So that's fair. That would be one part of it. Or it could be one of those intermittent botches where instead of Stokely getting involved with the Hurt Syndicate, he ends up hitting by mistake freaking FTR while FTR is in there with the Hurt Syndicate, and they disqualify the Hurt Syndicate.
I don't want that because that's separating Stokely and FTR. I'm good on that.
Listen,
I like my scenario better.
But I hear you. But it is wrestling at the end of the day, so they can do whatever they want to do there. There's that, and then also the narrative of FTR the Hurt Syndicate not wanting to lose to certain teams. I think the flip side of the narrative is that they want to put over younger teams. That's what they want to do, according to what the news feed is saying. So if that's the case, then there's also something to be said for, well, then TK doesn't believe in the younger teams. If that's the case. So, if we're going that route, that's why there's this imbalance in this whole thing. I think I Make Beats made a comment before about where's GYV. They'll be on Collision tomorrow night. But outside of that, that's that.
They'll be on the Rev Pro show today.
Yeah, they'll be also on the Rev Pro show.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted at the absence of GYV on AEW.
You're not the only one, my dear. You're not the only one.
I was crushed when they got released from WWE, and I'm like, go and make that money because you're gonna make that money. And then I watched them at Rev Pro last year, and then they debuted on Allin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there we go. And they got that face off with the Young Bucks. And I was so excited. And they did nothing with that. And I'm so pissed off because, there's the GYV because we're in the island of GYV. Fuck that. You should have them all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care. How are they not one of the best tag teams on the planet after they broke up Imperium for whatever reason? And I'm like, well, at least we have GYV doing.
Nope.
So
don't even have New Catch Republic.
New Catch Republic.
So for our commentator here, Love the Lord, saying travel issues for GYV. Straight from James Drake, no such thing. That is a lie. They live in America. They don't have visa issues at the end of the day. So that's a lie. That's not a true story at all. Straight from the horse's mouth. So that's one. Secondarily, and most importantly, it sucks because I am a fan of Brit Rest, and I know a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
And a lot of the British talent that have taken their turn over on AEW outside of Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter, let's be clear, outside of those two ladies, the rest of whatever British wrestler, and obviously Will, they haven't had much luck, to be honest. So I feel like there's time to turn things around. GYV has a wrestling school here in Florida at the end of the day, so they do that. outside of time. They also go back to Rev Pro. They tag at DPW, so they're keeping busy and they're keeping sharp at the end of the day. And there needs to be new blood inserted into the tag division, being that it's going good right now. To be quite honest,
yeah, I was gonna mention before we move on that we should definitely mention that the AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament was a net positive for the tag team division. It put a huge spotlight on the tag team division. It reminded people how great and that we are living in the era of two of the greatest tag teams of all time with the Young Bucks and FTR. And you highlighted a new tag team like Brodito. You got teams like Jet Speed and Gates of Agony that got something out of being in this tournament and having great matches. So I got to give it up to them, but they got to continue it outside of tournaments.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's why the change in championship is such an important thing. Either be FTR, either be Brodito. You can actually work with the rest of the tag team division, because then the egos get lost in all of it, right? And to Maggie's point earlier, and I know you agree with it as well, SP3, and I cannot disagree with it. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP, they deserve to have those egos. I get it. But you really put yourselves and you hamper yourself. You put yourselves in the corner, not wanting to either work and or lose to certain teams, because then it just leaves everybody else kind of flailing out there and whatnot. But I'm going to continue to push the GYV agenda at the end of the day after this. But I feel like for my decision for this match, I feel like go with the hot hand. Don't do what New Japan does. Brodito for the win. That's just me. Brodito for the win.
They got to go with their plan, and their plan is FTR and Cope and Christensen. So
they don't need a tag belt, man. They don't.
It doesn't, but that's what's going to happen. We got it.
By the way, GYV not being a part of this elimination tag tournament, should be punishable with serious jail time.
Absolutely. But we'll see them. Like you said, they're on Rev Pro tonight, and then they'll be on Collision tomorrow night versus the Gates of Agony. And I'm sure they'll put on.
I'm not a Rev Pro. This year. I get it. I get it. I want to watch them on here.
She said, "Fuck all that."
Same.
For the AEW Unified Championship, Kazuchika Okada will defend against Swerve Strickland. Kazuchika Okada, of course, defeated Kenny Omega to unify the AEW Continental and International Championships and become the first ever AEW Unified Champion at All in Texas. At that same event, Swerve Strickland teamed with Will Ospreay to defeat the Young Bucks, thus ending the Young Bucks' reign of terror as EVPs of the company. Coming off the heels of that, Okada took offense to Swerve screwing over his good friends and elite stablemates. So he basically called out Swerve. Swerve came back at him. It led to weeks of back and forth between the two men until Swerve issued the challenge for Forbidden Door for the unified title to Okada. Okada said, "I'm not here to talk. Let's do it, bitch." And thus we had the match here. It was 2 weeks ago on Dynamite that it was revealed that Swerve Strickland is dealing with a knee injury. I don't know what type of HIPAA violations that Renee Paquette got, but she said that she saw Swerve in the trainer's room. It was Okada revealed that it was a knee injury. So Swerve is going into this matchup banged up. This knee injury was confirmed by Fightful Select, where they revealed that he's had this torn meniscus injury since 2019 and has been dealing with it for 6 years. So it will require surgery following Forbidden Door. So this might be one last hurrah for Swerve Strickland. So who do you think is going to win this matchup? But more importantly, how do you think AEW deals with Swerve Strickland possibly being out with all the other stars that are out with injury right now? Maggie?
This obviously sucks. Let me just start off by saying this. But like on the other hand, a meniscus injury for the past 6 years? Sweetie. What are we like? it's obviously not an important part of your body, so you can neglect it for years, right? Wrong. So wrong. Are you kidding? 6 years? What? So this is the weird match for me on this card. This is the one weird match because it's Okada and Swerve, and I keep forgetting about the match. I don't understand why. It's like the other matches aren't bigger than that. They're not built stronger or anything. I don't know why. I just keep forgetting about this match. Swerve is one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW right now, so this makes no sense to me. I don't know how to feel about swerveless AEW, but it kind of makes me cry. He's been an important part of everything with Hangman and the Death Riders. It's like imprinted in my head that sort of Strickland. I keep forgetting that he was a part of WWE. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that he's homegrown in AEW, and I'm like, no, wait, that's not true. That's not the case. Definitely Okada is gonna retain here. I was feeling that Okada was gonna retain his championship even before we got the information about Swerve Strickland's banged up meniscus, teeny tiny banged up.
Just banged up.
Yeah, but this is a total bummer, man. But imagine the pop he gets when he returns. Imagine that. So Okada retains here. Still so sad.
Yeah, I think it's insane to even think about, because since he came to AEW, I don't think he's ever had an extended period away from AEW. He's been very consistent showing up on AEW TV. So it would be weird, especially considering, Will's got the bad neck. Kenny Omega's now kind of part-time. You're losing out on, like, you're giving the whole weight to Hangman Adam Page. I think it's easier for Hangman this time around because there's other people to carry the weight with him. But if you don't have Will Ospreay, you don't have Swerve Strickland, you don't have Jay White, you don't have a full-time Bryan Danielson, don't have a full-time Kenny Omega. It's Darby and it's Hangman for a few months here. That's what I think the future would look like.
Boo Darby. Darby sucks.
But as far as this matchup, yeah, definitely Kazuchika Okada is going to retain. He just won the title last month. I don't see him losing the title here. Like you said, before even the knee injury came into play, that was my prediction. But I do expect this matchup to be one of the best on the night. I think these two could go out there. It's a big match. Both of these guys know how to step up in big match scenarios, so I expect this to deliver. J News, what do you think about this matchup? And, of course, the Swerve injury.
So, I would say that the news of Swerve's injury and him dealing with a torn meniscus for the last 6 years, one, I agree with Maggie. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What? What? I'm sorry. Look, for a person who has an athletic background like myself, you play through shit at points, but you take care of it at the end of the season, right? And we all know the saying that pro wrestling doesn't have an off season, right? Yeah. But in this instance, brother, with the move set that you have, and yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars medical staff has helped to get you in the ring. I get it. Hey man, more power to you. I just think for the longevity of your body, floating bodies in the knee, rips, tears, and all that shit, it's just going to cause long-term issues. And it's also going to cause imbalances in the body and all that stuff. And you're going to be overcompensating and all that shit. Like, get it taken care of. Do that after this match. Okada wins. Who will be Okada's next opponent? I don't know. But what we do know, after talking about Swerve having to take some time off, Billy having to take some time off for neck surgery, Jay White not coming back till 2026 at the end of the day, Buddy Murphy not coming back till 2026. So we got that going on. We just got Luchasaurus back. And then, shouts to Fightful Select. They reported that Luchasaurus has been cleared for months at the end of the day. You know who else has been cleared for months? I ain't going to say, but hey, I hope he comes on TV soon because the big brother Keith Lee needs some TV time. That's just me.
I agree.
So
Wardlow!
No. Miss me with the Wardlow shit. I'm sorry, Maggie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. You know why? Maggie, hold on.
Excuse me.
Like, hold on. I have my reasons. First of
I'm
all,
listening.
for the last 2 months, all I've been watching Wardlow do on social media is do what that freaking guy with the routine videos who wakes up at 4:30 in the morning does, going all these goddamn cryo centers and these wellness centers and all this shit. Like, dude, where are you? Where are you?
I'm sorry. Is it his fault that they don't have creative for this adorable, lovely man?
So Maggie, to your point.
Tell him, Maggie. Tell him.
They don't have creative for a lot of people. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
What are you trying to tell me, sweetie?
What I'm trying to tell you is that I missed the boat on Wardlow. I missed the boat.
Well, fuck off and buy a new boat because I am constantly on that boat. So,
of course she is.
He started backtracking. That was great. Great stuff,
good.
Maggie. For the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, it will be Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Nigel McGuinness. This is a UK wrestling dream match right here of two of the greats of the all-time greats of their generation. Zack Sabre Jr. recaptured the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship earlier this summer against Hiroshi Goto. Nigel McGuinness won a four-way matchup against Daniel Garcia, Lee Moriarty, and Hechizero to earn this opportunity to verse Zack Sabre Jr. London, England, the O2 Arena. This is like I said it on the Sports Illustrated predictions for Forbidden Door, so I'll say it here. This is the equivalent for U.S. fans of Bryan Danielson versus Bret Hart. This is two of the best technical wrestlers of their generation going at it, but you're actually able to see this. This is not something you just have to do on a video game, like Bryan versus Bret Hart or Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle or Kurt Angle versus Bob Backlund, one of those. So, Maggie, what do you think about this matchup here? I've heard the excitement in your voice. Who wins on Sunday?
First of all, my nipples are a bit hard. And second of all, this match is so fucking yummy. Gimme. First of all, Zack Sabre Jr. wins. Sweetie, yeah, hi. I think Daniel Garcia turns on Nigel McGuinness. I kind of have that feeling. I don't know if he cost
never
him.
ask somebody to be in your corner for a title match.
Yeah, like, because that was weird for me. Like, why would you, like, you don't have on screen, they've showed nothing that leads to Nigel McGuinness asking Daniel Garcia to be in his corner. I mean, he's with Daddy Magic, probably. Why not ask him? It's like, this was the weirdest thing. And because they had this whole back and forth during the match, and they ended up shaking hands. And I was like, that's a weird ass move. But at the end of the day, we all know that Zack Sabre Jr. is gonna retain his championship, sweetie high. And I can't wait to see him versus Takeshita.
Oh yeah. They had two of the best matches of the G1 Climax tournament this year. That was awesome. I expect it to be awesome again when they face for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship this time. J News, what do you think? Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness. How excited are you for this matchup and who wins?
I think Maggie has
Five,
something.
5 panties, sweetie. 5 panties.
Five panties on the Maggie scale. J News.
I can never even bring myself ever to say that word, and it is what it is at this point.
Tell me.
It's been the
Tell
case.
me.
I'm just letting you know.
Tell me, Joey and I are meant to be. We have the same sense of humor.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. If you need the hookup, if you need the bridge, let a brother know. Anyways, about this match. Where the hell was I? So Zach wins by default to retain his championship. Or should I say Zach retains the championship, right?
Yeah.
If we're going with the idea that Danny involves himself and this builds to some sort of a feud on TV between Danny and Nigel, I'm all for it, because I feel like, not for nothing, I understand the history between Nigel and Bryan Danielson at the end of the day, but that story didn't come full circle for me for some reason. And then it's been very intermittent for me with what Nigel's been doing with Lee Moriarty on ROH. So if I can sink my teeth into something that Nigel will do on TV, and if it's going to be with Daniel Garcia and it helps prop up Daniel Garcia, I'm all for it at the end of the day. Like, because DG signed his extension last year. They need to have something for him to do. And then if Nigel's up for it and working more often, then hey, why not put DG in there with one of the best to ever do it in a lot of our eyes, for those of us who watched Nigel all those years via ROH and TNA. So there's that of it. That's what I got.
Yeah, I think that it's easy, Zach. I think that this might be even a bigger lock than Kyle Fletcher and Mercedes Moné. It's Zack Sabre Jr. is definitely winning this matchup here. And yeah, I agree. Post-match, Daniel Garcia turns heel, low blows Nigel, busts him open, and wipes the white towel with his blood. Then you get, for the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm will defend against a Ring of Honor Women's World Champion and the winner of the Women's Casino Gauntlet, Athena. It was at All In Texas that Timeless Toni Storm defeated Mercedes Moné to retain her gold in the biggest women's match in AEW history. Meanwhile, Athena won the Women's Casino Gauntlet matchup. For weeks following the show, it was Athena who was talking trash and taunting Toni with her contract, teasing when she would cash it in, execute the contract. But she explained that this was all for her to get inside Toni's head, but she chose the perfect place to execute her contract, at the one place that Toni Storm has seemingly not been able to win at since coming to AEW, London, England. Back at All In London 2023, Timeless Toni Storm lost in her attempt to win back the AEW Women's World Championship in a four-way won by Saraya. Last year at All In London 2024, she lost once again, this time to Mariah May. And now she goes back for the third year in a row. And will she lose the AEW Women's World Championship once again against her biggest challenge yet? Athena has been the unstoppable, unbeatable Ring of Honor Women's World Champion for nearly 3 years now. And she plans to win the AEW top prize ahead of reaching 1,000 days as Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Can Athena become the all-powerful, most dominant champion in women's wrestling history, or will Timeless Toni Storm continue what is shaping up to be one of the greatest reigns in AEW history, man or woman? this is the match I'm looking forward to the most. These is my two favorite women's wrestlers in the world today. Timeless Toni Storm is currently my women's wrestler of the year because not only does she deliver in the ring where she's put on match of the year candidates against Mariah May, she's put on great matches with Megan Bayne and Mina Shirakawa, and the list goes on and on and on. Just last month against Mercedes Moné, one of the best AEW women's matches on pay-per-view ever. And now she's got Athena here, and Athena, she's just been probably the best women's wrestler in the world over the last 3 years, but hasn't been seen by everybody because the audience is so small on Ring of Honor. But the fact that she's been able to have this run, have this build heading into Forbidden Door, it's been like, oh, thank you. Please give me more. Please give me more. Don't make this stop after this show. Unfortunately, they haven't got me enough to be like, I'm going to make sure it isn't going to stop. I'm going to give her the title because she's still having the Ring of Honor Women's World title stops me from going that far. If she didn't have the ROH title, I would say, yes, give her the AEW title. But because she has that title, I think Timeless Toni Storm continues her reign and she retains. Maggie?
I am of the exact same opinion. I still feel like Athena's big win will be against Mercedes Moné. I feel like this is the route that they have to take. And we saw how amazing Mercedes versus Athena was on free television. And I feel like this is what the match should be. That UK crowd will simp like crazy for Tony. Athena too, by the way, she's internationally loved, but because she's an amazing heel, she'll make them boo her. But Tony is gonna be so incredibly over. Her getting her first win in London will be a wonderful thing. I'm trying to sneeze for the last 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. This is ridiculous. But so it's a bummer that Athena has to lose again. And when I say again, I mean a second time, because she's been winning a lot in Ring of Honor. But like for the people like me who refuse to watch Ring of Honor because why? I have no way of knowing that, because she, in my eyes, she lost against Mercedes Moné initially, a month ago in the Owen Hart, right? Yeah, in the Owen Hart tournament. And now she's I feel like I'm almost certain that Tony's going to retain. I'm almost certain, but like nothing is certain in wrestling right now in 2025. So let's not pull that trigger. But hopefully, I don't know when this happens. Athena versus Mercedes for the TBS Championship. I don't know when it happens, but I'll be so there for that. I'm really looking forward to Toni Storm versus Athena, but I'm in my head I'm going, yeah, that's cool, but let's get to the other match, because I've seen it and I know what I'm gonna get. So incredibly excited, but Toni Storm to retain here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Athena won. I honestly think that that's the right decision to go with, because Athena needs to win more. But I'm going to go with the safe bet of Toni Storm here. J News?
Here's the thing about this match. One, I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup. Secondarily, it's the outcome of the finish, right? So if Toni wins, who's next in line, right? She beat Athena. She beat Mercedes. Obviously, Mariah's gone at the end of the day. Are we going to finally...
Do not get me started on Blake Monroe on NXT. That fucking sucks. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Continue.
It's okay. I get the anger. I get the frustration. I understand it, Maggie. I'm with you there. We share a brain there. But I'm going to refrain.
It's like, why did you choose to go there? Why would you choose to be tortured?
I'm going to refrain from that. Are we finally going to push the button on Willow or Stat?
They need to. Duh, they need to.
So there's that part of it, but also, like I said, I think the match is going to be fantastic. Athena and Toni are two of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. At the end of the day, I wanted to mention this because I think it goes without saying, but it has to be said as well. For folks who hate the Toni Storm character, the Timeless Toni character, it is what it is. But you can't fault her for still being that good in the ring, right? Because when the character started, her in-ring was not matching the character. And then she threw that shit to the side. She brought back her in-ring style plus the character, and then we went to it was off to the races from there. So for me, in this instance, if this is about AEW continuing to make more stars, right? And Athena's going to be on AEW anyways, going into the future. I don't see her going back to ROH. As a matter of fact, I think somebody stated it in the chat. I feel like she's eventually going to drop the belt, not to someone, but she's going to vacate it. And then they're going to have some sort of a Women of Honor tournament or whatever the case is. And then she'll be full-time on AEW. And then she'll finally get the big win over Mercedes. That's my thought process of it.
What an awful idea.
Why? What do you mean?
Because when you have long ass, first of all, I understand what you're saying, and it's probably gonna happen, but it's when you have a huge reign like that, how can you not use it to elevate someone?
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree
like
with
Billy
you.
Stark.
Because case in point, this didn't Asuka relinquishing the NXT Women's Championship did jack and shit for Ember Moon. It made her title reign that followed feel lesser than because she didn't beat Asuka. So don't repeat the history with the same character who went through it to Billy Starks. Have Billy beat her for the title.
Fair enough. But yet again, when it comes to the young wrestlers, I feel like TK has had his fair issue and problems propping these young wrestlers up. I agree. Billy should beat Athena in all this, but they're still trying to get a TV deal. How they're going to market it? The champion being the champion. Like, who's going to take over for Athena on ROH? Like, you're going to put all that pressure on Billy Starks?
What pressure? They're on a streaming service that's had the same 10,000 people watching for the past 3 years.
But Athena's been the focal point, is what I'm saying. If
the focal point of what? It's not on TV.
It doesn't matter. It's still a brand. She's there. The reason that she's on,
it's barely a show, let alone a brand.
Man, listen, man. I'm just talking from the facts. And the documents say ROH is a brand. You cannot even saying that. Shit.
I watch it every week, J News. This is not a brand. There's no ongoing stories. You don't watch Ring of Honor for the stories.
Anyways, I do agree that Billy should beat Athena. But if they wanted another veteran to take over the women's championship, they have one sitting in catering. And at the end of the day, I think that would be something perfect for Deonna Purrazzo to do if they wanted to go that route. I'm just putting that out there. But in terms of this match, I feel like this should steal the show. It should steal the show. If they come short of it, I won't mind. But at the end of the day, I feel like this match should steal the show. So that's what I'm going with. And Tony's going to retain here because I do feel like they have to give Willow and Chris Stats some freaking love after all this shit.
Willow and Chris Stats should be the ones that dethrone Mercedes and Tony. Those are the two you've had them on the Ferris wheel as you build up Mercedes and Tony as the end-all be-all women, but these women been ready for years now.
Yeah, exactly. And
Continue, please.
No, the final point I was going to make with how they've been building that story with the Death Riders and Chris Stat in the last couple of months and whatnot. I feel like they're going to eventually turn her heel yet again, but just in a different way this time about. So it'll work for her to be the heel and Tony to be the face, and then they do whatever they want to do there.
How awful is it that I keep forgetting that Deonna Purrazzo's there?
It's very awful.
Very awful.
It's very, very awful.
That's not your fault though.
It's not.
That's their fault.
Mm-hmm.
That's there.
I know it's not my fault because what the hell? John Perazzo, one of the best wrestlers in the world, man or female.
Agreed.
agree.
Agreed. Then we got the match that a lot of people believe might steal the show on Sunday. Lights out steel cage matchup. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli of the Death Riders teaming up with the Death Rider Mercenary, Gabe Kidd, and Max and Jeremy. I mean, Mr. Instant Replay and Slick Nick. I mean, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. And they will be facing Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega. Lights out steel cage. It's a no rules steel cage matchup. This is only the second lights out steel cage matchup after a Hangman and Swerve's match at All Out last year. How we got here, of course, at All in Texas. The Death Riders went down as Hangman Adam Page beat John Moxley in the Texas Death match to win the AEW World Championship, but it wasn't without his casualties. You had Will Ospreay, who got his neck broken by the Death Riders during the matchup, but also during the matchup, Darby Allin made his return to AEW on the mission of destroying the Death Riders or whatever is left after losing the AEW World Championship. Darby's been basically a dark cloud over the Death Riders. He got involved in Moxley's matchup with Hangman a couple of weeks ago. He almost threw Moxley off the top of a building on Collision a couple of weeks back. But finally, he made it known what he wanted. He wanted a match at Forbidden Door by leaving a note on Wheeler Yuta's head inside of a body bag. Moxley said he didn't want that. That led to Darby Allin once again attacking the Death Riders with a body bag, putting Wheeler Yuta in it. But Claudio Castagnoli made his return, attacked Darby, put him in the body bag, swung him around on his shoulders, dropped him down, was about to break his neck with the steel chair when Will Ospreay made his return and issued a challenge to Moxley and the Death Riders for a lights out steel cage matchup at Forbidden Door. He let us know that he made a call and he talked to Hiroshi Tanahashi and he would be part of the team. Moxley, upon hearing that, decided to call up his mercenary, Gabe Kidd. He went to see the Young Bucks in the extras room and recruited them to be on his team as well. And then it was revealed that Ospreay had called on the services of the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, two men who know the Young Bucks very, very well. No rules, anything goes. Will Ospreay, it might be the last match for him for a while, as he teased that he might be getting neck surgery. He also confirmed that in an interview with Zach Haydorn for the takedown on SI. So this is the last big match for Ospreay, the return of Omega and Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi's final match in the UK, Darby Allin's return to AEW pay-per-view, all in one matchup. J News, what have you thought about the build-up to Lights Out Steel Cage? Should this main event the show, since the Lights Out matchups usually close the show? And who wins?
Man, if we're keeping, yeah, it's probably gonna be Max and MJF to close the show with the championship match. This match will probably be somewhere in the middle of the show. I think. Or maybe towards the tail end of it, one of the last 4 or 5 matches and whatnot. I still believe there's going to be more matches for us to see at Forbidden Door, to be quite honest. So there's that. The build to this, you know, for all intents and purposes, is probably the one that has the more definitive storyline, right? We know where all this stems from. And the only thing that I've missed from the build to this match is Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. That's the main thing that I've missed out of this whole match, is those two guys. But they're going to fly in like the superheroes that they are, and they're going to do some crazy shit because that's what they do. And they're going to make this match a memorable one. Shouts to the War Dogs for appearing on Dynamite because, you know, those are my dogs for real at the end of the day. So, glad to see Clark back on TV. It's been a while. You know, Drilla making it. I know Genesis was on here. He sent up the super chat talking
Did J News pause? Did J
Nah,
News
I-
pause?
we all-
Oh, he froze.
We all
He
paused.
froze.
Yeah. But what was I going to say? We got the Genesis J said something to the effect of they didn't invite Nepo to the event, talking about David Finlay. Now, for all intents and purposes,
You just taking the wind out of his super chat and just to make a slide remark about David Finlay.
well,
Congratulations.
no, I'm not taking the wind out of it. That was his point because he hates David Finlay as much as I do. But
Well, why don't you let us read his super chat before you blow your load?
Damn it.
Damn. Genesis J says, thank you, Genesis J, for the super chat donation. He says, I'll see you guys at the Forbidden Door review, but LOL, Nepo wasn't invited to the party. So what does this have to do with your point? Talking about a lights out steel cage matchup that has nothing to do with David Finlay.
Because David Finlay is the leader of the War Dogs, and by proxy, he has to do with this match. But I will make the point. That David Finlay's never been involved in Forbidden Door.
Never.
At any point. And I think that's done purposely for many reasons, right? It could be a ton of reasons, but I have one specific reason.
feel like he's going for his boy. He's gonna get his boy. What are you doing?
Many reasons, but I feel like Tony Khan might have the thought process that he has with certain New Japan talent, where he doesn't find them very interesting, so he doesn't want to book
Very
them.
evil,
Right? Because he doesn't like Evil's work at all. So there's
no one
that
does except for Tanahashi
No
and
one
Kato.
So there's that of it. But yeah, I think that the match is going to be wild. It's going to be fun. There's going to be plenty of mayhem here. Somebody's going to bleed buckets at the end of the day. Will's going to go away for a while after this, which is fine. He needs it. He needs the time off. He needs the surgery, whatever have you. Tana, man, I get that it's a multi-person match and he might not have to do a lot of the work here, but like still, I just the Tanahashi
don't
part.
die.
Yeah, the Tanahashi part of it still doesn't make much sense to me, but we're here, right? And we're gonna do it that way. And on the other side, like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, I usually give Gabe a pass for everything because I'm a fan of the fucking Madman, but I can't give him a pass on this whole skipping the G1 thing and then appearing at Forbidden Door. Like, bro, you're gonna have to take.
He's gonna be a destruction.
Whatever, man. He's gonna have to take this one on the chin. Like you're not beating the allegations here, son. So that is what that is. It would be hilarious for me to find out, if ever, that Gabe skipped G1 because they couldn't pay him and he just needed the payday, so that's why he did Forbidden Door. That to me would be hilarious. But that
would sound so like New Japan too.
Exactly. That would be such a New Japan thing to do. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this. I don't think it'll be the main event though. They'll try to put it somewhere wherever it is, it's gonna do a disservice to the match that comes after it. But I don't think it's gonna be the main event at the end of the day.
Don't put it before the main event either.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Oh yeah, no.
You can't.
It's gonna be such a disservice. Listen, I adore each and every one of the people involved in this match, apart from Darby. You guys know, you can fuck off. But like, this match is gonna be so incredibly exciting. Tanahashi, sweetie, please don't die. We love you. Just stay alive, please, for your sake and everyone else's. I will forever be interested in what happens with Kenny Omega with the Young Bucks, because I do feel like in the long run we're leading to a face turn for the Young Bucks way ahead in time. Them not getting along with Don Callis and everything. Don Callis screws them over and they, And I will always admire that. The moment when we reach the part about the Elite. My question is, and this is just a question, is not a complaint. What are Kenny Omega and Ibushi doing in this match? Why isn't it Samoa Joe? Because Samoa Joe was the one who got injured with the Death Riders. What does Kenny Omega and Ibushi have to do with that whole Death Rider situation? What is that? I'm not complaining. This is Kenny Omega and Ibushi on my television. Of course, I'm gonna adore watching that. But in kayfabe, what are you guys doing here? Why? It's I don't know who to pick.
That's a good point. I didn't make a choice either.
Yeah, I was about to say you didn't pick anybody.
Yeah.
Who you got, Jay?
Pick right now. Matt Jackson has been getting pinned all the time in these sorts of matches. Yeah, so I'm gonna say Matt Jackson gets pinned by Will Ospreay.
Okay.
Again.
Fair. I'm gonna go with the faces here for the sake of the storytelling continuing on AEW TV. And I think it'll be a bigger embarrassment for the sake of continuing where the Young Bucks are going. It'll be a bigger embarrassment for Matt Jackson to be pinned by Tanahashi. It'll be a bigger embarrassment for him to be pinned by Tanahashi. So I'm gonna go with that as the end here. So yeah, there's that of it.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go with the Death Riders. I think that the babyface side is too much of the walking wounded. You got Ospreay going in with herniated discs in his neck. You got Tanahashi with one knee. He got a half knee on the left side, half knee on the right side. What together? It's one knee. One knee all together between him. Omega is halftime, and he's the walking wounded. Ibushi's coming back from an ankle injury. It's not looking good on this babyface side when Darby Allin is the only one without an injury heading into this match. So all of that to say, yeah, I think the Death Riders pick up the victory here. They need to rebound. And how often have we seen Jon Moxley lose 3 pay-per-views in a row? He already lost at Double or Nothing and All In. I don't see him losing here. So that leads us with the main event for the AEW World Championship. Hangman Adam Page will defend against Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. Hangman Adam Page, of course, regained the AEW World Championship at All In Texas, defeating Jon Moxley in a Texas death match to win the gold. Since then, though, MJF has been a thorn in his side. MJF at All In won the men's casino gauntlet matchup and has been taunting Hangman with the contract that has his guaranteed shot, but saying that he's not going to use it. He wants a free shot at the AEW World Championship without using his contract, and he planned on getting Hangman angry enough to accept that challenge, but Hangman outsmarted MJF, making him execute his contract to prove he is a man and can beat Hangman on his own. This led to MJF coming up with another scheme, getting the assistance of Ricochet and the Gates of Agony to kidnap and tie up Mark Briscoe to hold him hostage and tease burning him alive if Hangman didn't take his 3 requests. His 3 requests is that the title can change hands by DQ here, the title can change hands by countout, and he doesn't have to use his guaranteed casino gauntlet title shot to get the opportunity. Hangman had no choice but to accept the request, thus making this matchup him at all the odds against him. I thought that going into this matchup, going into the go-home show, this was a really well-done build-up. I thought the promo segment 2 weeks ago when Hangman outsmarted MJF was outstanding. just outstanding character work by both guys. The babyface outsmarted the heel who is insecure, getting goaded into his own trick. It was just great stuff. And then MJF, being that insecure narcissist, got upset and jumped him from behind. It was just well done all around. The go-home show was anything but that. I hated that segment so much. It just took me out of the moment. It's a level of disbelief that I'm not willing to suspend to believe that he's going to set him on fire. And MJF never done anything like that. So Hangman should have called him on his bluff. Hangman looks like an idiot because he gave the heel what he wanted in the end. Like, it made nobody look good. A lot of this buildup was dedicated to making it seem like it was going to be a three-way with Mark Briscoe, where seeing how the go-home segment went, you should have just made it a three-way with Mark Briscoe, where MJF gets his free shot, but it has to be a three-way because Hangman said he wanted to give Mark Briscoe a shot. So that made more sense than how we got here. I expect this to be a great matchup, but I do have in the back of my mind that it might get a DQ finish and then set up another matchup right after because he has the contract. So I expect something stupid to happen in this matchup, which makes me less excited for it. And that's unfortunate because we have in a headline here, is Hangman and MJF the best AEW feud of the year? And I think there's no question that it is, because it's really the defining feud that defined the turnaround of 2025 for AEW. AEW going from the first month of the year where you got MJF and Double J being like, your wife's a whore, your girlfriend's a whore. And then you turn around that into a very philosophical battle of the main character versus the main antagonist of AEW. This has been the defining feud of the year for AEW and really a symbol of how they've turned around fan perception for them. So it is the feud of the year. It just had a really bad go-home segment. So I think that Hangman wins on Sunday. Maggie, what have you thought about the build? Who wins on Sunday? And is Hangman and MJF the best feud of 2025 for AEW?
Thank you for going with me first because I have to go. So, is it the best feud? I don't think so. For AEW, I don't think it is. For me, it's probably Hangman and Moxley. I don't know if it's just that the build was great, and it's probably because of the emotional end of the thing. I'm probably biased towards that. I'm 100% sure, but MJF and Hangman is right up there because of everything that transpired this last week on Dynamite. What I think happens is Hangman wins the match, but immediately after that, MJF cashes in and wins the championship. And then they build towards a rematch at All Out in Canada, where Hangman gets his championship back.
There we go.
This is what I think happens, because it's just, tell me the reason why this contract is still a thing.
I don't understand. You had it perfect last week, and then you just ruined it. J News, exactly. Who do you think wins, and is MJF and Hangman the best feud of 2020?
The only thought I really had coming into this match was the fact that this is going to be a complete barrel full of shenanigans. That's my take here. With everything that's happened throughout the year, with the Death Riders and everything else in between, and then now Max having Ricochet and GOA as his lackeys, basically for this immediate sake and whatnot. More crap, more chicanery, more buffoonery. It just feels like House of Torture all over again, man. And to me, I don't want more of that in my wrestling. I just want a straight up match, right? And we're not going to get that here. Okay. And I get that the different aspects of it leads into the storytelling. I understand all that, guys. Trust me. But I just don't need all that here, right? Like you said, SP3, the main character, the protagonist that is Hangman Page, the antagonist that is MJF, that should be good enough, right? And the contract should really be used as a MacGuffin, not for the end to the match, but for something that he can use down the line. Now it's something that he can use down the line because he got Hanger to change his mind, because he was gonna, set Mark on fire, and it's like, come on, man, like, what are we doing here? That segment took me out of it, because I was like, the whole time I was watching, I was like, why are we doing this right now? This isn't necessary for this match, know, because they had already separated Mark from the feud a couple of weeks ago. So it's like, we don't need this to revisit unless we're doing the three-way, like you said, SP3. And we're not doing the three-way match. So it's like, what was the point of all that? So there's that. I want Hanger to come out as champ because there's other talent on the roster that I want him to go up against as champion. Because AEW is going to need people to step up, right? With Will gone, if Swerve takes time off, obviously we know Jay White's not coming back anytime soon. And Kyle's still the TNT champion. They're gonna need stuff for Kyle to do. They're gonna need stuff for Okada to do with the Unified Championship. Who's gonna step up here? And you need your mainstays to stay champion. Now, mind you, MJF's a mainstay because he is a main character on the show. So if he wins, it's just as good. But I just want to see Hanger from a preference standpoint. I just want to see Hanger continue his story at the end of the day as champion. So I'm gonna go with Hanger to win here. But there's gonna be too much BS going on in this match for me to think that it'll be a great match overall. So we'll see how it all breaks down.
Maggie, I know you got to run, so I want to give you the floor. Let everybody know to follow you on social media when they can see you next.
Guys, you can follow me on Twitter, X or whatever, at Maggie_IK, on Instagram at Maggie.IK, and if you guys are still doing the Blue Sky thing, at Maggie-IK. I feel so weird saying that. Please subscribe to FightfulSelect.com, the easiest $5.99 you're ever going to spend on wrestling. And you can catch me every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern on Fightful Overbooked for Coexisting with Rob and Maggie, which is starting in about 2 minutes. Just enough time for me to pee and cry a little bit about Joey. And
you don't have to cry anymore.
Hopefully you guys can catch me on this very channel for the next pay-per-view that we are gonna have. Thank you so much, you guys. It's always a pleasure to see you two on these prediction shows. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'll see you next time.
Bye,
Maggie. Take care, Maggie. We always enjoy having her here. Let's read a couple of your comments before we sign things off here. We got Soupy in the chat who says, it will be all MJF baiting Hangman to get disqualified. MJF will have to disqualify not to lose, and then sign the contract to start the match again where the DQs won't change the title and he will lose again. Yeah, like I feel like it's going to be something that it does more damage to either one of these characters with how they get out of this contract when they had the perfect out, how it was like how the segment was 2 weeks ago, and then they doubled down on it and reversed everything in the segment this week when they didn't have to. The simplest thing for him to do was, yes, MJF, you can get your matchup, but it has to be a three-way, where Hangman's not being dumb by putting his title up in a three-way. He already said he wanted to face Mark Briscoe for the AEW World Championship, but he's willing to put his title up against two guys just to give MJF what he wants in a way he doesn't. That makes more sense than what we got in a segment that was outstanding and then a bad segment that reversed everything in the outstanding segment. I don't like that.
I think that they like, as we know, obviously we don't know the ins and outs of what happens on the day-to-day over in AEW, who's healthy, who's not healthy, yada yada yada. I don't think Mark's been in a match for the last 2 or 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
2 weeks. He versus MJF, right? on the 6th.
Yeah, so I don't know if all I'm saying is I don't know necessarily if he's hurt and that changed plans. Who knows? At the end of the day, is what I'm saying. But with all this being said, they just made it too convoluted at the end of the day. It's just keep it simple, guys. At times, professional wrestling is as simple as it seems. Keep it simple at times, And with this, it's just all over the place. So, if we're gonna see MJF lose a fall to then cash in the contract and all that stuff, which I agree with a lot of people out there who hate and or dislike the whole cash-in gimmick of everything, be it Money in the Bank, be it this particular thing with the Casino Battle Royal win here. It's like, we've had enough of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if they could come up with something new, do that in that particular instance. But this whole contract thing hanging over people's heads is just, it's been done to death. That's why I appreciate how Athena went about it, where she was like, yeah, I'm going to sign this and it's for this date and we're going to go ahead and do this or whatever. But now Max is always trying to get out of it. And I get it. He's the Weasley heel. He's trying to get out of shit. I get all that, but it's like, we've seen that enough. So it's like, do something different. And we'll see how they spin it, man. We'll see how they spin it. But I want Hanger to come out as champ from all this. I'm not knocking Max. He's a great part of AEW, but for right now, him being champion to me wouldn't work for right now, especially after the year they spent with the Death Riders thing. And then I agree with Maggie. I think the Death Riders / John Moxley storyline with Hanger is the story of the year for AEW so far. This go home Dynamite, quote unquote, undid a lot of the good faith they had with that one segment.
I understand. I do. I just think that it's too pivotal of a feud, because without that feud, you don't get the Hangman and Death Riders stuff. Without that feud and the success of that feud, it's so pivotal, and it's such the important feud that you're going to look back on years from now and be like, this was the point. This was the feud that really kind of changed everything for AEW in 2025.
Yeah, because basically Max put the rocket in Hanger's back at the end of the day. After all was said and done, I agree with you there. I just feel like, I'm not sure who produced the segment. It turned me off at the end of the day. But I'm sure they'll have stuff to do. I'm sure they're still going to be intertwined for the foreseeable future. But I just want Hanger to win in this.
Of course. Bonkers says Monet got 9 belts now. Yeah. She won the Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship. She did say that she was wrestling early on the card, so that's already went down. I'm about to turn on SmackDown. That's live now. If you got illegal sites or VPN, check it out. And Power Driver Finisher says, is there a good enough option from New Japan to have replaced Mark Briscoe since it is Forbidden Door? Short answer, no. But that is all from us here for our Forbidden Door preview. Want to thank Maggie for joining us as always. Love chatting some graps with her and hearing her predictions, as well as my good brother Jay News. Jay News, let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they shall see you again.
So follow me on the socials, on the Twitter machine at JohnLYFNMG. On Instagram _JONJY. You will see me again on True Heel Heat doing the review for Forbidden Door. I believe we're probably going to end up doing that on Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so there's that. And then you can also check me out, not this Sunday due to scheduling conflicts, but you can check me out usually on Sundays on the Hit the Ropes podcast with me and the lovely Dolores on our respective YouTube channels. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, it's John LYFNMG on YouTube. So check me out there. Me and Dolores do a live streamed YouTube wrestling podcast on Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. So that'll be back on the 29th. So there's that about it. So as always, folks, thanks for participating in the chat. Always love to read y'all comments and stuff like that and keeping engaged with everybody. Shouts to everybody in the chat. And yeah.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the team Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, just like our Rev Pro Global Wars UK and anniversary show preview that we got up on Patreon. I believe dropped earlier today. We also did a preview for WWE Heat Wave, WWE NXT Heat Wave coming up this Sunday as well. For our Patreon backers, you can also check out our GOAT match series where we celebrated the 10-year anniversary of Sasha Banks versus Bayley from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Me and Jimmy Macaram went back and rewatched it, see where it ranks among the other greatest matches of all time that we have watched so far. Check out our Triple Mania 33 review, as well as me and Jay News along with Sanal for our NJPW G1 Climax 35 review. And we'll be talking all about the G1 Climax, as well as Triple Mania, as well as Rev Pro, Heat Wave, and Forbidden Door tomorrow at 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the True Heel Heat flagship podcast, and it is our 8-year anniversary of our True Heel Heat flagship podcast. So join us live for that. We'll be reminiscing, talking about the True Heel Heat flagship podcast, how far we've come with the flagship and the YouTube channel, reminiscing, and of course talking about this week in pro wrestling as well. So join us for that. But for Maggie, for J News, it is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been our AEW x NJPW Forbidden Door 2025 preview. We are signing off until next time.